Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Xflick right here with you guys with the second part to What If Deku had had a supernova quirk, or had supernova, whatever you really want to call it. But here it is. Pretty much what if he had a fire quirk. That's pretty much what it is, but just renamed. But anyway, I do hope you guys do enjoy this. You guys have been asking for it. Where's a part 2, part 2, part 2? So here it is. Here's your part 2. And yeah, so I have actually really enjoyed making this. This is a really fun series for me to make because I can just kind of make him blow people up and it will make sense. So there you go. But yeah, so that's pretty much about it. Once again, thanks to my boy Crown Fiend for making the thumbnail, because it's fire, literally. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys kind of do enjoy that, and thanks, man, for making that. And yeah, so that's pretty good. And secondly, thanks my boy Saint for the music down in the description, as well as all the other music I used in this video down in the description as well. So yeah, pretty much all the links there are just them. There's nothing about me, it's just them. But yeah, so there that is. So that's pretty much it. No need to really drag this on. So yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that jazz. And yeah, just remember, God is awesome, you guys are too. No, and let's just get straight into this epic What If. Let's go! So before I do start up with the story of this kind of series, I do have to add one thing into Deku's quirk, which I kind of forgot to put in the description kind of when I did it last series. And pretty much is when Deku does use his quirk or whatever, and his he kind of builds up solar radiation passively over the day. But when he uses his quirk, his solar radiation build-up increases a lot quicker, so he builds up solar radiation a lot quicker, so he has to either get rid of it or store more of it inside of himself, and that's not good. But yeah, so it does kind of increase a lot quicker than when he's just sitting around idle and not using his quirk. So therefore, kind of causing him to hold a lot more radiation inside of him. Either that or just releasing it a lot earlier than normal. But years of kind of using his quirk and like having quirk usage, etc., he has built up a resistance, so he is able to store up a lot more radiation than he would otherwise. It's kind of like a stomach. Like, if you eat a lot more and you just keep filling up your stomach will increase a lot more. So you'll be able to add in more food. So that's pretty much what it's like here. But yes, that's pretty much end of that kind of description, so just get straight into the story. As the two boys walk in, they see another student, or other students around their age, with multiple different types of quirks and mutations, kind of wacky quirks. One guy with a blue kind of head and blue spiky head, another person with this kind of quirky attribute, or this person with this other attribute. And after a few minutes of kind of waiting around and waiting for the exam to start, a large boy with an extremely enthusiastic attitude runs up to the pair. Hello fellow recommended potential students of UA High School. I am Inasha Yaorashi. It is a pleasure to meet you both. Greets the large boy. Oh, I'm going to love using this voice. Greets the large boy as he does a full-on bow, smashing his head into the ground. Oh, he's such a great character. Before either of the two could respond, a loud voice comes over the speakers. Alright, recommended students, it is now time to test your brains. Head to the written testing hall and sit at a designated seat. I cannot speak. Present. I really can't speak. English is only my first language. Present mic commands. As instructed, the students go into the exam hall and do the written portion of the test. And after a few hours, they all come out of the hall and go to the practical exam site. First is a race between two students where they can use their quirks pretty much however they want. So a few races go on until it is Deku versus another boy called Juzo Hononuki, or the Attack Titan guy, or the softening touch, everything goes soft kind of quirk man. The race begins as Deku launches off, turning kind of into fire when he looks back. But that made no sense. Okay. When the race begins, Deku launches off as he blasts kind of fire behind him, launching him far. When he turns back, he sees the ground waving like water, which he thinks is kind of strange, but he dismisses it as he quickly approaches the finish line. Suddenly, in front of him, he sees a ripple in the ground before a splash as the other guy jumps out of the ground, leaping towards the finish line in front of him. Absorbing all the heat and other sources of energy around him and radiation, Deku boosts forward, flying past Juzo and winning. It being a very quick match, or tight match, however. The next race is Shoto versus Inasa, where Todoroki does win by using his ice to slide and his fire to propel himself, pushing him even further than in the original, getting the dub. Deku then congratulates Shoto, with Shoto then kind of complimenting Inasa in his own way. In his own way. They then finished the rest of the physical exams, getting top 3 in nearly all of the tests. As the exams finish, Izuku and Shoto prepare to leave when they hear the booming voice from before. Hey! Todoroki! Midoriya! Wait up! That's kind of like my white voice. As they turn around to see Inasa running towards them. We finished the exam, alright? Go home or something. What the hell? Do you want to die? Growls Izuku before getting a harsh elbow from Todoroki. Sorry about him, Yarashi. The more he uses his quirks, the more irritated, explosive, and unreasonable altogether he gets, explains Shoto. Being kind of taken back by all this, but trying to understand the situation, Inasa nods. It is fine, I will try to be more considerate and open about the situation. Oi, shut up, you're being too loud, Izuku demands before getting another harsh elbow to the ribs. Ow! Okay, you bastard. Now I'm certain you want to die! Whoa, Izuku, you're leaking radiation, calm down. Kinda commands Shoto, who then explains to a confused Inasa about how Izuku is a literal star. Like, he has a literal star inside of him. Therefore, he builds up solar radiation, etc., and yeah. After this explanation, Inasa calms down as the two parties separate and go home, where Deku immediately detoxifies and releases all of the pent-up solar energy. They wait for a couple weeks until the letters arrive, and they see Nezu present that they got into UA, with Deku and Shoto with one other girl being the 3 recommended students for Class 1A, with 3 other recommended students going to Class 1B. A few days after they get their letters, Deku heads for his first day of UA. He walks around a bit before finding the door of 1A as he opens up the door. Yeah, as he opens up the door, he sees two people bickering and yelling on the other side of the class. Then seeing Shoto at the back of the classroom and going down to sit next to him. When he sits down, a few more students arrive. Then a person in a yellow sleeping bag arrives, quietening the class. That made no sense. I'm gonna restart that. When he sits down, a few more students arrive. Then a person I've completely messed up writing that. So, a few more students then arrive until a person in a yellow sleeping bag arrives through the door, quietening the class. It took you 8 seconds to quiet down. That just won't do. Rational students would understand that. The man then stepping out of his sleeping bag. Hello, I am Shota Aizawa, your homeroom teacher. Now put these on and meet me outside. Throwing the PE uniform at Bakugo as they go to the changing rooms and get changed, and go to the training grounds. Once everyone has arrived at the training grounds, Aizawa throws the ball at Bakugo. Bakugo, you somehow got first place in the entrance exam. Throw the ball as far as you can using your quirk, just don't step outside the circle, he explains. Okay, responds Bakugo as he walks to the circle and reels his arm back, before throwing the ball, layering the throw with a large explosion, forcing the ball to go soaring while screaming, "Die!" sending the ball soaring to the sky and reaching around 700 meters. Sorry if you guys were hearing headphones and that just murdered your ears. When everyone sees this, they are in awe. When almost everyone sees this, they are in awe of this display of power, getting riled up and saying, "This is going to be so much fun," etc. Yeah, etc., etc. This is until the teacher starts speaking again. Fun, huh? Idiots. This is a test to show your potential. Whoever comes in last has none and will be expelled immediately. After this is explained and stated, everyone starts to get defensive and say, "That's not fair," etc. and start saying how they just got here and all that. That is until Deku speaks up. Being honest, it's understandable. Some of you people could have gotten in by random chance or sly luck. It doesn't mean you deserve to be here. If you do, prove me wrong and don't come last. Before anyone could say anything in retaliation, Aizawa cuts them off. He's right. I saw a lot of people in the exam. Not a lot stood out. Now's your chance to. Come up, Midoriya. Show us what you're made of. As commanded, Deku walks up to the circle and catches the ball. When Aizawa gives the signal, fire surrounds Deku's hand and up his arm as he launches the ball with a large explosion and shockwave launching around his hand before a beam of fire and plasma shoots into the sky. When everyone looks back to Aizawa, he then reveals the score. Infinity! That was a voice crack. Everyone shouts in complete disbelief. You see, that's what's required here that's what's required to be here at UA, Deku explains. Kinda dumbfounded, Aizawa responds. Well, he's not wrong, though being a prodigy himself, you have to strive to overcome someone and go the absolute furthest you can possibly go and break your limits. Hearing this Aizawa motivational speech, everyone prepares themselves for this grueling test. Skipping to the end of the test, Deku is in first place overall, coming in first in the 50-meter dash, absolutely smashing everyone and getting there in like a second. The standing long jump, he can fly, so not much of a challenge. And first equal in the softball throw with Uraraka, who also got infinity. With Todoroki coming in second place, just in front of Momo. Then the rest of the order kinda going the same until it is last place. Minoru Mineta, pack your things and get out, Aizawa kinda demands. Everyone is kind of in shock, apart from Deku, who really doesn't care that much. He really didn't care, as they kind of didn't realize that he was being serious, and they thought he was just kind of being motivational. But apparently he's getting kicked out, so that sucks. After this, Aizawa then lets everyone out early, as they can then go home. The next few days of class goes pretty regular, with them just doing normal school stuff like English, math, science, etc. That is until one day, Deku walks into class early as he opens up the door to be greeted by a familiar face. Ah, hello Midoriya, Hello Midoriya, it is a pleasure to meet you once again. It seems I have been transferred from Class B to Class 1A. That is a very good coincidence, don't you agree? Shouts the very obnoxious and friendly Inasa, sorry. Oh, Yorashi, right? You're in our class now? Deku questions, kinda taken aback by this sudden outburst. Yes, apparently I am, swapping with one of the Class 1A students. And you can call me Inasa. He replies, Okay, Inasa, I'm Izuku, I guess. As the two keep talking, they go to sit down, with Shoto joining in the conversation soon after. They continue talking, with Deku being as cold as normal, but still tolerable, and Todoroki keeping the conversation going and keeping Deku from losing his mind. That is until I am here! Coming through the door like a hero! Shouts All Might, immediately taking control of the room. After this big announcement, everyone gets super hyped that All Might, the #1 hero, is their teacher. Hello there, students! Today we shall be doing a heroes versus villains training test! But first, get your hero costumes on! As directed, the class goes to the changing rooms and gets their hero costumes on, with them all meeting out in the practice city soon after. You know, they say clothes make the pros, and I think you are proof of that, exclaims All Might. He then chooses teams with Midoriya and Asui as the heroes, facing off against Todoroki and Yarashi, who play the villains. The rest of the teams go how you see fit. While Shoto and Inasa go up and getting their defenses ready and readying their defense, Deku and Sue start talking. So, Midoriya, how does your quirk work? My quirk is frog. It allows me to have the aspects of a frog, like strong jumping, sticking to walls, and I can extend my tongue far distances, she explains. Well, my quirk is Supernova. I have a literal star inside of me, as Deku continues to explain his quirk. Todoroki, after a little while of explaining his quirk, Todoroki's quirk is half hot, half cold. He's able to use both fire and ice on the corresponding sides, with ice on his right side and fire on his left. Inasa's quirk, from what I believe, is called wind, I think. He can manipulate the wind however he likes, really, as he explains further. Thinking for a bit, Su replies, "So, what do you think the game plan should be?" With Deku explaining a plan that could work, and Su adding in some good pointers and ideas as well. "The heroes, man, to the building!" All Might shouts over the intercoms, kind of blowing out everybody's eardrums and causing them to go deaf. No, I'm just kidding. And Shoto blasts the ground immediately with ice, freezing all but the top floor so he doesn't freeze Inasa's feet. After a few seconds, however, it starts getting warm, with steam start coming up into the room, as it then starts getting hotter and hotter. As the two then realize what's happening, Inasa blasting all the windows, kind of blowing them all out, and blasting the entire building with wind pushing out all of the hot air. Soon after, he's hit in the back of the head as Asui kicks Inasa, sending him flying into the wall, before Izuku blasts through another window going for Shoto, as he shoots a fire blast towards Shoto, pushing him back. Su is about to go for the bomb until it is frozen over, and so is she, causing her to kind of go into her hibernation state. Thinking quickly, Deku blasts a plasma stream towards Shoto, forcing him back, before then jumping towards Su and heating her up, causing her to go out of her hibernation state and waking her up. A sneak attack in a sneak attack, however, Inasa blasts wind at the two, which is blocked by Deku. However, the fire also blocked Deku's line of vision, as Shoto jumps through the fire as he prepares to punch Deku with an ignited fist. In this instant, Deku doesn't see his best friend. He sees his father, beating on him with a fire and lava covered fist, as a 3-year-old Deku is screaming and begging at his father and begging at him to stop, but he won't. As another flash happens, Deku then starts seeing both of his brothers being beaten and burnt and just bloodied by his parents. Then one more flash with Deku in his brother's arms being held as he is burnt and bleeding and bruised. Back in the real world, a bright multicolored aura starts surrounding Deku as he screams. When this happens, a small superheated shockwave or a supernova explodes out from Deku, scorching the surrounding area before appearing in front of Shoto and blasting him with a plasma covered fist, sending him into the wall. Inasa tries to go help him, but he is then blasted by a kind of stream of fire, pushing him into the wall, incapacitating him for a small bit. After this, Deku then leaps towards Shoto, charging a fireball in his hands, before his eyes then snap open again as he becomes conscious of his actions. When he looks around, he's wondering what's going on, as he is kind of in a daze and he doesn't really understand what's happening, as he sees Su holding his hand, which originally had a fireball in it. What happened? And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy this part. It was a little bit short compared to some of my other parts, but hopefully you did enjoy it. So, yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this part. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that jazz. And yeah, just once again, thanks to my boy Saint for the music. And yeah, pretty much all his links, all the links will be down in the description. And all the links for the music, once again, that I've used in this video down in the description as well. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this part. If you did, once again, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that, and yeah, just remember, God is awesome, you guys are too. And I will see you guys in the next part. Peace.